This recipe starts easy enough, and it's a good one. I have a really good looking group of ingredients down here. You know, I'm looking at this and thinking, I just want to dig in right now. I want to go right at it. And I've got to hold back, restrain myself, because I've got to teach how to make this. So, as I'm teaching how to make this on my tutorial episode, which is the one that follows this one, please bear with me. We're going to get this together. I'm going to show you this wonderful recipe, how I like to pull it together, and I think once you've tried it, you're going to really be hooked on this. And so you'll know the background. One of my cousins married into a family that owns a chain of restaurants up in New England, and they are Italian restaurants. These folks really know how to cook, and he's the guy that taught me what I needed to know about marinara. So today, this is about spaghetti. It's going to be meatballs, Italian sausage, a fantastic marinara. I want to show you how I like to make it. Come on over. The ingredients that I'm going to be using for this today kind of starts right over here. This is a marinara, and it begins with the tomatoes. I'm using tomato paste to begin with, and it's a really good way to do this recipe. I'm using right there a fabulous tomato paste, some wine right behind it. We have some white Zinfandel. Now, white Zin, a rosé wine, a blush wine, anything that's light, fruity, and a little bit sweet is perfect for this recipe. Don't use a heavy dark red, or it makes the whole thing too heavy. We also have garlic, basil, some salt, and back here I have some Italian sausage and some fresh ground meat. Oh, we're going to turn that into beautiful meatballs. And then here we have some herbs, our thyme, rosemary, and a bit of oregano, and some string to keep it all under control. Folks, this is my spaghetti recipe, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. When I'm preparing this dish, I do my spices and herbs twice. Once for the marinara and once for the meatballs, okay? So for the marinara, that's what I've laid out here, and I'm going to be tying these with string, each one separate. So if I'm tasting it and I taste too much rosemary or too much of this, or it's starting to get too strong, I can then just simply pull that one out by its string. Very simple. My basil right back here, I've already pre-measured this. Basil's the one thing that you can really be heavy-handed with on this dish. So feel free to just go at it with that. And then on that garlic, I'm going to be adding in about 4 of these 6 cloves into the sauce itself, but I'll be cooking those into some olive oil. And then 2 of these I will mince for the meat as well. All right, I want to tie these. That's what's next. Well, I've got my herbs all tied up, each one with a different string. My garlic, I've placed it in olive oil there. Okay, now that olive oil, I'm going to just cook the garlic in for a little bit until it turns a light tan color. I'll remove the garlic, and the oil is what I will use to flavor my dish with the garlic. Okay, and this is a neat way to infuse the garlic in your dish without getting all the specks. Okay, this is a good way to do a clean sauce without having, to go through the trouble of fishing out little specks. Okay, makes it easy. I'm getting ready to fix up my meatballs, and what I'm going to need is a little bit of minced garlic, some thyme leaves, some finely chopped oregano, and some basil. And if you'll notice, I didn't use the rosemary on this part of it. It is a bit overwhelming for a meatball, and it works better this way. All right, so give this a try. I'm going to be using about a teaspoon of the dried basil, and I'm looking for about the same amount of fresh on these two. If you're using dried on these two, go about a half to 3/4 of a teaspoon on the oregano and the rosemary, or excuse me, the thyme. No rosemary on this one. As far as that garlic, you're looking at about 2 teaspoons of minced garlic on that, and you want fine minced. When it comes to making these meatballs, take that ground sirloin add the spices and the herbs that we've chopped up for that, and just a little bit of salt. Put it in there, mix it all together well. And folks, small meatballs is really nice. You can go big, whatever size you want. You don't have to have a binder or a filler. The same way as on a hamburger. Press the things together. We're going to cook them a little bit before we put them in the sauce. This is going to be so good. When it comes time that you've got your meatballs all pressed out, and if you notice what we have here, it's a pound of meatballs and a pound of sausage, and that's like 5 sausages I had there. I made 10 meatballs. I'm going to take these, we're going to pan sear them right down here in this pot. Okay, so I need to heat the pot up good and hot, get some oil in there, and I want to cook these until they're just browning on the outside. And the whole idea is to get some brown on the meat, some brown in the bottom of the pan, because that's all flavor. It is built flavor that can't be produced any other way. So give these a good sear. They don't have to be turned dark brown, just a light browning is good enough. Once we have that flavor built up, we go in with the wine to break up the fond on the bottom, and then get in our tomato paste in there and get that worked together. At the same time, I'm going to be heating the oil with that garlic. After I've cooked the garlic in it, I'll remove the garlic and put the oil down in this as well. Looky here, we're getting these pulled out. Look at that, we got all that browning on those meatballs and on the sausage, and right down in the bottom of the pot. Oh yeah, that's looking really good right there. That's what I was wanting. I've just finished getting everything in here. We browned that meat and got it down in here. So I have these beautiful browned meatballs, and they're finishing up in this. You don't have to cook them all the way. The sausage is browned the same way. In the middle there are my herbs. They're all tied up. And the oil from that garlic I put down in here also. The garlic cloves, after they were cooked, I just set them aside. Don't need those. Put a little salt in it, about a teaspoon. All right, now, and there was a couple of cups of water added to this, all right? I need to just give this some time. Be patient with it. It's going to take 3 to 4 hours for this to turn into the wonderful, exciting sauce that we're going to get from it. This has been simmering for about an hour now. It is starting to develop the character that it will eventually have. Now notice those meatballs, they're holding together just fine. Most of the brown has cooked off of them. The rest will cook off in the remaining simmer. The same way with the sausage, so be prepared for that. At this point, after about an hour of simmering, you can pull out those herbs. So just pull your strings up and out of there, and once you pull your herbs out, you can finish that simmer. And this just gives you a cleaner sauce this way. I have water over here coming to a boil. Now I'm going to put a little salt in this. I will not put any oil in it because that doesn't make any difference when you're boiling pasta. What does make a difference is putting a little olive oil on the pasta after it's cooked. In other words, drain the water, put the pasta back in here, and a couple of tablespoons, and then just toss the pasta with the oil. It will keep that pasta from sticking. Even if you cover it, come back to it 30 minutes or an hour later. If it feels stuck together, just shake it a little with your tongs and the pasta will break loose and it'll be just as if you freshly cooked it. All right, that's all there is. Cook your pasta al dente. This has been simmering now for about 4 hours and it is looking absolutely fantastic. I'm about ready for this. The quantity of everything that I have used today started right here with our meat. I used 1 pound of Italian sausage and a little bit over about 1.25 pounds of ground sirloin. I've used 2 cups of white Zinfandel wine, 18 ounces of tomato paste. Garlic, you're going to use anywhere from 4 to 6 cloves on that garlic, 2 to 3 tablespoons on your basil. Your salt, you'll need it to taste, but generally you're going to start with about 2 teaspoons for the whole dish. As far as your oregano, your rosemary and thyme, each of those, if you're measuring them from dry, you're going to want 2 teaspoons. And on fresh, you're going to want the equivalent of about 3 teaspoons. If you're using it in whole form, just tie it like this and pull it out when you're finished, and it gives a cleaner sauce. That's the idea there. It's a beautiful way of doing it, easier way of doing it, and it makes a really good quality product. I'll tell you what, folks, let's take a look at what we've cooked up. This is delicious. All right, now the pasta's been cooked up, and something I want to mention, I put a little oil on there to keep it from sticking. If it does, put your tongs right down in it and just shake it a little bit, just like that, and it will break all of that right loose, okay? So you don't have to worry about any sticking after the oil hits it. It might a little bit, but that's how you fix it. Okay, let's just grab a little spaghetti here. We don't have to go crazy with it. Get it down on our plate. Make a nice little arrangement with it. Oh yes, that is some good looking stuff right there. Oh yeah. So first thing I want to do, get a little of that sauce right up on that pasta, just to start with. Oh yeah, look at that. And a piece of Italian sausage, just to complete the whole thing. Oh yeah. Not complete without the Italian sausage on there, is it? Look at this. We've been working on that all day long, and now there it is. Get to enjoy. Folks, enjoy your spaghetti. I was happy to share this with you. I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. Absolutely perfect. Rich, robust, full-bodied. This is really a good marinara. Yeah, it's a slow process. However, very rewarding. Okay, so please give this one a try. If you would take a look in the description box, links to Texas Cooking Today, which is where you saw this here on YouTube. Also, there's a link there for S.A.Trotter.com. That's where I sell my recipes. And that's where I also sell my artwork. If you would, please take a look at that. Thank you very much for watching. And folks, please enjoy your spaghetti and have a good day. Bye-bye. I wanted to speak to you for just a moment about my recipes. Now, I put out my recipes, okay? They're on my website. Now, I don't put out your average everyday recipe. You know, I had somebody comment to me recently. He said, why would I do that when they're available everywhere for free? There's a little difference. Those that are for free, and I've printed them out, you have too, little tiny thing in the corner of the piece of paper that's covered with ads most of the time, and then it's not very descriptive. Not mine. Mine are worth having. Okay, so when you get one of mine, it's designed to be printed in such a way that it can be put into like a 3-ring binder. Look at this. Look at the quality on it. Look at how clear this is. The imagery is beautiful. So they can be printed, and this is the way I've designed mine, is so that it can be printed back to back. And then you end up with, you know, a complete recipe that works in a book. And it comes out absolutely beautiful. Pictures that depict everything that you need to do in the recipe. Now, not all of them are exactly that way, but a lot of them are, and I'm getting more and more done this way. And I'm putting a hard push towards good quality recipes that give better instructions than everybody else's. And that's the reason I do them this way. These are designed to have holes punched in them. Let me pull this up and do this with it. Look, 3-ring binder, boom, punch holes in it, you have it right there. Everything's all available for you, okay? So, pardon me, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Anyway, really cool idea, a great way to do your recipes. Instead of having to buy a book of 50 recipes to get 10, you just pay for the 10 recipes, save a whole lot of money, and you got a better idea for how to keep your recipes. Thanks for watching. Please enjoy what I provide. Check out Texas Cooking Today. There's a lot, I mean a lot of recipes there. And if you would, take a look in the description box down underneath me here, and you'll find the links to my website, to Texas Cooking Today, to the stuff that I do, and
how to keep up with me and to find out a little bit more. Thank you very much. You have a good day.